Okay, so our next piece is a little off the menu, but I thought this is quite relevant to our story, West Side Story. It's kind of the aftermath of our story. So it's a song called "Society's Child," written by New Yorker Janis Ian. Uh, Janis is born and raised in a small farming community in northern New Jersey, still within our geographic area of New Netherlands. And the demographic makeup of her community is predominantly African American. And she is one of the few white students in her high school. So the song is written about a boy and girl, African American male and white female, who start dating. And even the teachers at school, the neighbors, everybody, the family especially, is really up in arms over this um, intercultural, interracial relationship. So the backdrop to this story is this is not stated as autobiographical. It's merely from her interviews about the song. She says that it was an observation that she made. She says, I saw it from both ends. I was seeing it from the end of all the civil rights stuff on television and radio, of white parents being incensed when their daughters would date black men. And I saw it around me when black parents were worried about their sons and daughters dating white girls or boys. I don't think I knew where I was going when I started it, but when I hit the second line, face is clean and shining black as night, it was obvious where the song was going. I don't think I made a conscious decision to have the girl cop out in the end. It just seemed like that would be the logical thing at my age. Because how can you buck school and society and your parents and make yourself an outcast forever? Okay, so the story goes the boy and girl are dating, parents are all up in arms, both sides, both ways. Even the teachers and their friends at school are saying, hey, what are you doing? You shouldn't be doing this. Stick with your own kind. Stay with your own kind. So this is a theme again. West Side Story, stay with your own kind, don't go outside the group, that sort of thing. So the song was basically paid for by a recording company that was looking for a loss, a tax write-off. They said, oh, this song will never see the light of day. We'll just record it. It'll fail. We can write some money off on our taxes. Well, the song is picked up by a couple of radio stations in New York and is played a couple times an hour. And it becomes a hit. Eventually, it makes its way across to the West Coast. It's played on radio stations there. So it's not just a local hit anymore. It becomes a national hit. A radio station in Georgia plays the song a few times. The local residents get all twisted and bent out of shape about it, and they burn the radio station down to the ground. A Boston newspaper reporter for the Boston Herald, the big newspaper at the time, was fired for writing about the song. So the song swirls in controversy right from the very beginning. The topic, uh, interracial marriage at the time, was illegal in 34 states in the United States. And people were arrested and either put in jail or fined or ostracized in some way. Uh, these were big crimes, a felony crime, not just some, jaywalking ticket. They were serious crimes back in the day of getting married to someone outside your race. And finally, the Supreme Court had to say, hey, this is ridiculous. People can marry whoever they want at the time. So Janis Ian really breaking ground with her first hit, Society's Child. And when I was 16, that was a long, long, long time ago. My aunt, who was from Massachusetts, was part of the phenomena of girls, mostly girls, coming right out of high school or college, that wanted to get out of these small little cutesy New England towns and go where all the action was, and that was New York City. And thousands of girls left the countryside or these small towns of suburbia looking for excitement and the lights and action and fun of New York City. And she goes there. She had a college degree. She worked for a school system as a dietitian. And she met someone and they got married. So she came up to visit the family. I'm 16 years old at the time. And she invites me to go to New York City to kind of see what's going on. And I hadn't been very far at that time. Uh, so I found it really exciting. I kind of liked it. Um, so took me to all the famous restaurants, of course, the landmarks, all the sightseeing places, all of that sort of stuff. But she said, hey, there is this new singer, very popular now in New York. Her name is Janis Ian, and she's going to be playing at a club in Greenwich Village called the Bitter End tomorrow night. So we're going to go see her perform. So I had never heard of Janis Ian, Society's Child, or any of it. So we go, and the place, the Bitter End, was a nightclub, and it was kind of a leftover from the 50s beatnik days when poets would go kind of hang out, drink coffee, recite poetry, or have philosophical discussions in these kind of little teeny tiny little coffee houses. So we go to the Bitter End, and it's really teeny, tiny little place, maybe just as big as a couple of college classrooms. And that's about it. And Janis Ian comes on stage and she sings from her album, Society's Child. And I became an instant fan. And so I remember when this album really kind of took off in New York and became a national hit.